This movie's story is set in a future America where every year there is one day, only 12 hours, when all crimes are legal. No police, no emergency services, and no law. This day is called the Purge, a night when people unleash their hatred, anger, and desire for revenge, and can kill anyone at will. The movie begins with a family, James Sandin, who is a top security salesman, living with his wife Mary, daughter Zoe, and young son Charlie. Mary was preparing dinner when James arrived home. James told Mary, "See you at dinner." Meanwhile, Zoe was secretly meeting her boyfriend, Henry. Suddenly, James's voice was heard, so Zoe quickly told Henry, "You should go now before my dad sees you." So Henry quietly left the house. After that, Charlie was showing his mom, Mary, the features of his toy. Then, during dinner, the whole family sat together, enjoying their meal. James asked everyone about their day, what they did, and how their day went. Then, they looked at the clock and realized it was time for the lockdown. The purge night was about to begin. James went to his security room, where he had installed multiple surveillance cameras. His entire family joined him there, their hearts pounding with fear. As the lockdown for the purge was about to start, James pressed a few buttons, and all the doors of the house started to close automatically. Suddenly, a news broadcast appeared on the TV, announcing that the lockdown was about to begin until 7 a.m. Hospitals and police would not respond. Everything would remain shut down. Then suddenly, sirens began to blare, marking the beginning of the purge night. Everyone was terrified, but James reassured them, saying, "Don't worry, I've installed a strong security system. Nothing will happen to us." Zoe went to her room, and Charlie went to his as well. James then told Mary, "I'll finish some paperwork, and then we'll watch a movie with the kids." In the next scene, we see Zoe in her room, when suddenly Henry shows up. Zoe is shocked and says, "What are you doing here?" Henry replies, "I came into the house earlier when you all were having dinner." He then tells Zoe, "I'm here to talk to your father tonight. I'm going to tell him about us, how much I love you." Zoe tries to stop him, telling him it's not a good idea, but eventually she gives in. Meanwhile, James is busy, working on his paperwork when Charlie's toy robot rolls into his office. Charlie is secretly watching his dad through the camera on the toy. Suddenly, they hear a gunshot outside. James calmly tells Mary, "Don't worry, this happens every purge night." Then, Charlie hears someone's voice calling out for help. When he looks at the security cameras, he sees a man outside the house shouting, "Help me! Please, someone help me. They're coming after me." Charlie feels pity for the man's desperation and, without telling anyone, unlocks the front door. He lets the man inside the house. The sound of the door opening catches everyone's attention. James and Mary rush to the living room to see what's going on. Suddenly, Henry appears and pulls out a gun, aiming it at James. It turns out Henry hates James, and on this purge night, he saw it as the perfect opportunity to kill him. Just as Henry is about to shoot, James fires first, hitting Henry with a bullet. Zoe runs in at that exact moment and screams when she sees Henry wounded. In all the chaos, the injured stranger, the man Charlie let in, disappears. James yells, "Where is that man?" and then angrily turns to Charlie, shouting, "Why did you open the door?" Charlie, scared and trembling, says Dad, he was hurt and asking for help. That's why I let him in. Mary steps in and says, "Enough, that man isn't here anymore, and we don't even know where Zoe went." Then we see Zoe with Henry, who is badly injured. Zoe is crying and says to him, "Why did you do this?" Meanwhile, James, Mary, and Charlie look worried and anxious. James finally says, "I'm going out to find Zoe." Mary tries to stop him, saying, "No, let me go. We don't know if Henry is still alive. What if he tries to shoot you again?" But James insists she stay inside and goes out himself to search for Zoe. He moves through the dark house. He finds Henry's body and checks to see whether he's alive or dead. Then we see Mary and James. They see on the cameras that some people outside are wearing strange masks. One of them removes his mask and says, "James, your neighbors told us that you have given shelter to a man. We are looking for him. Hand him over to us. If you don't hand him over, we will break into your house. We have the tools to destroy it." The man says, "Don't force us to kill you all." Then they cut the house's electricity. James says, "We will find that man and hand him over to you. Otherwise, they will kill us then." James and Mary begin searching the house for the man. Meanwhile, Charlie watches those people on the CCTV. They are doing strange things. James sees the man running and chases after him, but then loses sight of him. Then we see Charlie, who is searching the house for the man using his toy. Charlie sees the man on the toy's camera. Charlie still wants to help him. So through his toy, he sees a secret room where the man has hidden. At that moment, Mary enters that room. The man turns off the light inside. Hearing the sound of a button, Mary becomes suspicious that someone is inside, so she moves toward the secret place. But then, a sound comes from somewhere else, and she walks away. Then we see the man. He says to James, "You still haven't handed that man over to us. Are you hiding him?" James replies, "I'm trying my best, but he's not in the house." At the same time, the man's companion arrives and speaks up, so the man shoots his companion. Then he says, "Our equipment is coming. Hurry and find him, or it will be worse for you." In the next scene, we see Charlie searching the house through his toy's camera. Suddenly, Zoe appears in front of the toy's camera. She says, "Henry is dead, and I have his gun. Nothing will happen to me. Wherever you are, don't move from there." Zoe adds, "I'm in your secret room." Hearing this shocks Charlie, because that same secret room was where the stranger, the man Charlie had hidden, was also hiding. Then we see James searching for the man. Suddenly, he spots the stranger holding a gun to Zoe's head. The man says, "James, drop your gun, or I'll shoot Zoe." James tries to calm him and says, "Don't do this. Put the gun down and surrender yourself to us. Otherwise, those people outside will kill us all." At that moment, Mary quietly comes up behind the man, holding a gun in her hand. James sees her and says, "Shoot him, Mary." The man slightly injures Zoe by striking her on the head and pushes her aside. James quickly attacks him, and during the struggle, James fires his gun, hitting the man. Zoe collapses and loses consciousness. James rushes to her and shouts, "I need a rope. We have to tie him up." They tie the man's hands and feet and force him onto a chair. The man then throws himself off the chair in resistance. James tells Mary, "Put pressure on his wounds. He'll calm down and manage to tie him to the chair again." Mary, now emotionally shaken, looks at James and says, "What are we doing? Look at us. Look at what we've become." Then she goes to check on Charlie, who's still frightened. James looks back and sees Zoe slowly regaining consciousness. He rushes to her and asks, "Are you okay?" Zoe weakly replies, "Nothing is okay, Dad." Before fainting again, James then turns toward the tied-up man, who painfully says, "Hand me over to them and save your family." Then we see the masked group outside, attaching chains to the doors. James quickly sends Charlie to the basement for safety and tells Mary, "Take these guns, and if anyone breaks in, shoot them without hesitation." Outside, the leader of the masked group shouts, "James, you didn't hand that man over to us. Now your house is our target. You all are going to die tonight." Moments later, they smash through the front doors and storm into the house, spreading out as they search for James and his family. Down in the basement, Charlie hides quietly until suddenly one of the intruders grabs him. Just as the man is about to shoot, James appears and fires at him, killing the attacker and saving Charlie. Meanwhile, another intruder enters a bedroom where Zoe is hiding under the bed. He looks around but doesn't see her and leaves the room. Then, two more attackers approach James. As soon as he sees them, James opens fire. One of them narrowly dodges the bullets. James quickly shoots the woman first, killing her instantly, and then fights the man, knocking him unconscious. But suddenly, another man attacks James from behind. James fights back furiously, punching and kicking before finally shooting him dead. As James moves forward, an unseen assailant lunges from the shadows and stabs James in the stomach with a knife. The man leans close and says mockingly, "You did this to yourself. Thanks for the purge." We then see chaos throughout the house, more intruders breaking furniture and tearing things apart. Watching from the basement cameras, Charlie sees a new group of people entering the house. They attack and kill the masked intruders who were already inside. It seems like these new people are enemies of the Purge attackers. Soon, the group finds Mary. One of the attackers grabs her and is about to kill her. But suddenly, the new group shoots them dead, saving Mary just in time. Then Mary saw James in an injured condition, so she went to him, and Charlie also arrived there. Then that man came, and just as he was about to shoot them, Zoe shot him first. After that, Zoe said sorry to James, and then James died, which caused great sorrow to his family. Then we see the people who killed everyone else and saved them. Mary thanked them, but that woman said, "There's no need to thank us too much, because now we're going to kill you all." She continued, "We killed those people so that we could kill you ourselves." Then they tied up the hands and feet of everyone in James's family. Mary asked them, "Why are you doing this to us?" The woman replied, "You people made a lot of money, and you looked down on us, that's why." This woman was actually their neighbor, and she was jealous of James's family, which is why she was doing all this. Then, suddenly, a man arrived and shot one of the attackers with a gun. He grabbed the woman and told them to untie everyone's hands and feet. As soon as they did, the woman said, "Kill us quickly." But Mary said, "No, nothing like that will happen. We'll spend the rest of the night peacefully without doing anything." Then we see that it's morning time, and there are only 1 or 2 minutes left until 7 a.m. Everyone was sitting quietly. Suddenly, that woman attacked Mary, but Mary slammed her face onto the table, causing her mouth to bleed. Mary said, "Didn't I tell you to stay calm?" Then suddenly, it became 7 a.m., and the sirens started blaring. The purge night had ended. Mary told them, "Get out of my house," so everyone left. Then that man also started to leave the house. And Mary asked him, "Are you okay?" He replied, "Yes, I'm fine." Mary thanked him. The man said, "Good luck," and left. Then the movie ends with a news broadcast. If you haven't liked the video yet, please like it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.